I'm gonna start over then. All right, let me click this here. Sorry about that, folks. All right, welcome to this month's workshop, specifically on pay-per-click. Excited to have you here today. Obviously, today we're going to be talking all about maximizing your paid ads, along with in conjunction with Google Ads. Now, we will also talk about some other platforms such as Nextdoor, Facebook, Yelp, some of those other platforms. But for the most part, we're going to be focusing specifically on Google Ads today and how you can run ads, optimize your ads, and really get them working well so that you can generate more leads. So let's go ahead and jump in here. A couple of things that you're going to learn today. We're going to go through why pay-per-click really is the key to unlimited scalability. It is the ticket to getting very far along, getting more leads. Obviously, it costs money to do so, but if it's well optimized and working well, and you're putting $1 in and $10 or $20 is coming out, that's a nice situation to have. So we're gonna talk through some of that today and let you know how you can make that happen. We're also going to talk about some live examples. Now, for me, we have an entire team specifically for our paid ads. We've been doing this for quite a while. They've really optimized this down very well, and they know how to make this work. So we're going to show you some examples of some campaigns that we're working on as well. In fact, I had my paid ads team actually go through this presentation and update it with the latest stuff so that you guys get the latest information. We're also going to talk about how to structure your marketing campaigns so that you can get lowest cost per lead, maximum ROI. Obviously, those two things are very important to everybody, and especially a business owner. And then lastly, we'll talk about tracking KPIs, how to build landing pages, some of those types of things as well, to make sure you guys are set up for success right from the start. Now, as we get started, I'd appreciate it if you could turn off your phone, turn off Facebook. We're going to be diving into some pretty cool stuff. I want to make sure that you're not distracted at all, and able to pay attention. A little bit about me. My name is Will Hankey. My business is called Window Treatment Marketing Pros. I've been doing digital marketing for 28 years now. In 2017, I niched down from what we call a generalist agency to just working with window treatment and awning companies. So that is the only clients that we have now, and we are able to help clients across the US, across Canada, and maybe even further than that. But we're top 50 fastest growing companies. I'm also a mentor teacher for a group called 7-Figure Agency, helping other agency owners like me gain success. I really like to teach, and obviously that's something that we're going to go through today. We are also Google partners. So we partner up with Google. Everybody on our paid ads team takes the Google certifications, make sure that we understand the latest, the greatest, all of the optimizations that we can do for our clients. And we love the Google partnership that we have. Now, as I said here, let's make this interactive. I appreciate Chuck and Deanne jumping into the chat already this morning, saying hi. Let's make this interactive. So if you do have questions, comments, anything along the way, plug those into the comments on whatever platform you're watching this on: Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. We're in a lot of places, but whatever that is, I'm watching all that chat, and I can help you get those things answered. I want to make sure that we're getting those answered correctly for you. So while we're talking about it, stick something in the comments about pay-per-click. Have you used it to generate leads in the past, or have you given money to Google and maybe not generated any leads from it, which I hear a lot, on the system. Okay, yeah. So cool. It looks like some people have done that, and yeah, maybe it worked well, maybe it didn't. I'd say a lot of times when I'm talking to awning companies or window treatment companies, they've definitely tried Google Ads in the past with mixed results. Maybe it worked well, maybe not. One thing about Google is they make it real easy to spend money, right? They make it very easy, and before you know it, $1,000 is gone, and you're not sure exactly what happened, or if you got any return on that money as well. So now, if you've been on any of our workshops, you're probably familiar with the digital dominance method. This is a list of 12 things that we have segmented out as important things to do when it comes to optimizing your business for digital marketing. Now, today we're going to be talking specifically about number 5, pay-per-click. There are a lot of things to talk about it around digital marketing, as you know. If you haven't been to our training page and seen any of our other training, it's wtmarketingpros.com/training. There are sessions out there. All of our workshops are out there as well. So we cover a lot of these things. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about number 5, pay-per-click. So let's jump into a quick overview of Google Ads, how this, what it does, and just so you have kind of an understanding of the different pieces. So in the world of Google Ads, there's actually 4 different types of ads that you can run. There's search ads, which are the most common and the ones that you're probably most familiar with. You type in window treatments near me, and there's probably 2 or 3 or 4 sponsored ads at the top of the page. Those are the search ads. Now, there's also app ads, which are obviously ads inside of apps, inside of games. Farmville used to be the game back in the day, right? But there's hundreds, thousands of games on mobile devices that you can play inside of those, and even not games, but just apps that you use every day. You can put ads inside of those as well. If you've got, if there's an app that you know a lot of your customers are using, you could show your ads inside of that app, very likely, which is pretty cool. There's also video ads. So the number 2 search engine in the US is YouTube, and that happens to be owned by a company called Google. So video ads are a fantastic way to get in front of people. Specifically, what I really like on the video ad side is what we call retargeting ads, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But these ads that somebody has to watch before they watch the video they want to watch. And you can target people that have already been to your website, things like that. Very cool way to go about things. And then last is display ads. These are ads on other websites. Sometimes you'll be on a website and over on the right or at the top, you might see an ad or a banner or something like that. Those are the display ads, and those are pretty common as well. Now, when it comes to audiences, who do you want to see your ads? There's a couple things you can do. You can target customers that you know. You can exclude customers and only show new customers. So let me back up. Target customers that you know. You could actually upload a list of customers that you want to show your ads to and show your ads to those people. Now, you could also upload that list and do the opposite. Say, I want to show my ads to people who are not these people, right? They've already bought from me. We've got them on our monthly newsletter. We don't need to waste money or budget showing our ads to them because we've already got them in the system, right? And then the big one, the green one here, is reach users similar to your customers. So here we call this lookalike audiences a lot of the times, but you can upload a list of customers that you've done business with and say, hey, Google, here's a list of customers. Now, Google has all kinds of demographics on those customers, most likely, a good percentage of them, right? And what they can do is they can find out what all the commonalities are with those demographics and then build an audience of people that look like the audience you uploaded and show your ads to them. Very cool way to go about building an audience, reaching a cold audience, but they already have similarities to people that have done business with you in the past. So should pay-per-click be part of your overall strategy? Absolutely. It is by far one of the best ways to generate leads quickly. Now, we love SEO in my business. I'm an SEO guy. I love it. But pay-per-click really is to quick leads. So yes, obviously it should. You can start showing up quickly, as I mentioned. There are some advanced targeting, such as the lookalike audiences, things like that. It is complementary to SEO. So a lot of the things that you're doing from the search engine side, optimizing your site, making sure it looks really good, all of those things, kind of work together, which is really nice. And then scalability, is you can go as far distance as you want. You can bid on as many keywords as you want. And there is definitely scalability. If you can prove to yourself that the ROI is there, like I said, you put $1 in and $10 comes out, how many dollars you want to put in? So, right? It can be a fantastic program for you. So we're going to jump into number 5 here. Now, in the world of lead gen, as an agency owner that helps people marketing their businesses, the two pieces that really should work together is SEO and pay-per-click. SEO is a slow grow, but long-term strategy, great benefits and great growth. Pay-per-click is the short term. Let's get some leads and some lead flow through our system as soon as possible. So let's talk about structure. I want to make sure you guys understand kind of the overview of how you should structure a Google ad campaign. So there's a couple different things that you can do. You can do a brand campaign, such as somebody types in your brand name. You should obviously be bidding on those keywords and doing SEO to rank organically number 1 for that. But definitely should be doing a brand campaign. So if somebody's just looking you up, you want to make sure they can find you, right? They've already been exposed to you, maybe through a referral or some other way, and they just need to get a hold of you. A lot of times those types of customers are coming to your website and probably just looking for a phone number. That's really what they're after, so that they can set an appointment. They don't have to go through being sold or deciding if you're the right business or not. So, and then there's general window treatments. So all of window treatments, I just want to bid on everything, or same for awnings, right? I just want to bid on everything related to that. Now, inside of that campaign, you should build different ad groups, and each ad group should target a specific thing. In most cases, that is types of products, right? So you should have an ad group for blinds. You should have an ad group for shades. You should have an ad group for awnings, whatever different things you sell. Each of those should be a separate ad group inside of your campaign. That makes it a little bit more specific, so that when you write the ads, they make sense to the product that you're trying to sell, and ultimately what people are searching for as well. So lots of different ways that you can go about building the ad groups, but you definitely want to kind of build them out according to the different pieces, the different products really that you offer, I guess would be the best way to do that. In the Google ad system, this is what it looks like. You've got the different ad groups on the left. You click ad groups, and then you see those different groups, of course. Now, on the left, you can also do this by different areas, different items that you offer, and start to build out those different types of things. You can see this for a couple different types of agencies or different businesses. Now, the ones we're after obviously is the window treatment related stuff, right? So the other piece of this is, okay, got my campaign set up. I've got my different ad groups. Now I need to know what kind of keywords do I want my ads to show? So when somebody types something in, I want my ad to show or not show, right? When it comes to that, there are 3 types of keywords that you can put in. Phrase match basically says, I only want my ad to show if somebody uses awnings near me, if they use those 3 words in that order. Now, the trick here is there could be words before that or after that. So they could say, show me a list of dealers that do awnings near me. Right? In that case, your ad would show because it has that phrase in there. Same for awnings in Dallas awnings, obviously. Only if they use that exact phrase with words before or after or not, your ad would show. Broad match is the most broad and probably should never be used, but that is draperies. So anytime anybody's searching for anything related to draperies, show my ad. That's a great way to spend a ton of money really quickly, because Google starts to make some assumptions about some things that maybe aren't that great. Let's say somebody types in cheap draperies from Walmart, right? Your ad would show if you were just doing a broad match search. So, excuse me, you got to be real careful with the broad match. I would recommend against it in most cases. The third one is exact match. Now, in the world of exact match, your ads would only show when they typed this exact thing in, nothing before, nothing after. So if somebody went to Google and typed in Dallas drapery, your ad would show. If they say Dallas drapery near me, your ad would not show. So exact match and phrase match are the best ways to go about this. And for the most part, as you dial this in, exact match really is probably the only one you'll need. As you continue to run ads, you'll notice how people are engaging with your ads and which ones they're clicking on. And you can kind of start dialing down on some of the more broad related or even the phrase match type keywords and just go the exact match route in most cases. Now, the other side of keywords is what we call negative keywords. These are keywords that if they type in, I do not want my ad to show. So this is where things like cheap, Home Depot, right, Costco, blinds. A lot of our clients don't want to spend money on ads for blinds because they're going up against Amazon and Home Depot, and they're low margin, and not a lot of money involved. So could also be around jobs, ideas, people that are searching for DIY type stuff. You probably don't want your ads to show for those sorts of things as well. Last is competitor names. So definitely worth considering putting in negative keywords around your competitors' names. So we actually put together a policy where we won't run competitor name ads for our clients. What we've done over the years is we've tried this several times, and a lot of our clients think, you know what? Let's I want to crush ABC blinds down the street. So if somebody types that in, I want my ads to show. But what we found is they never converted. If they did call, they pick up the phone and call, almost always they said, oh, I thought this was ABC blinds, not XYZ blinds. This is not the company I'm looking for. So we tend to just not do any competitor names at all. It's not worth it. It's not worth the time. And you can see here's a search for somebody who is doing this type of thing. When you type in Made in the Shade, you get some other company. This is somebody looking for a specific thing. So I think it's a waste of money, quite honestly. Now, when it comes to creating compelling ads, this is where kind of the dirt hits the road, right? Where you really need to start to get a little creative, maybe use AI, maybe get some different ideas going. But here are some fantastic ideas to help you kind of along with that. And that, first of all, is less is more. That's a big thing. The less you can kind of pile on somebody and just talk more about, hey, we can help you solve this problem, the better off you are. Also, tell them what to do. So click here, set an appointment, get started. Those types of calls to action are very important. If you have a special offer, of course, make sure that you reference that in the ad. And when they land on your page, which we'll talk about in a little bit, make sure that that page also mentions that same offer, right? So that they know they're in the right place. And that's what we call ad sent. So when I clicked on the ad and landed on a page, it still smells the same, right? It's not like I clicked on an ad for window treatments and now I'm on a page about window tinting or car repair or something, right? It seems the same, okay? And then give them one decision. So don't give them a bunch of options. Pick up the phone now, click here to set an appointment, whatever that is. Don't give them visitors a lot of options when they get to your site, to your landing page. Couple great performing ads. You'll notice that we're listing some products. We're also listing some manufacturers, right? Some people do know, okay, I really want to get Graber for my home. So they might go search that particular brand. Your ad comes up because of that. So definitely consider adding in some different things related to brands, obviously what you do. And then make sure to mention things in this case like mobile showroom, right? We'll come to you. Mention location, Sacramento. Make sure that you're not just saying, hey, we can do your window treatments. Give them kind of a reason to do so. In the one on the left here, actually both of them say book now, right? So that we're being deliberate about what is the next step we expect someone to do when they see these ads. Now, there's also something called ad extensions. You'll see that below this ad here, there's a couple other, well they're called extensions, where you can actually add these for free in the Google Ads system. In this case, a book now button that goes to a set appointment page. You can pick up the phone and call us. You can click here to see a map and drive to our location. If you have a physical showroom, that might be a really good one for you. But you can definitely add these extensions in. It definitely takes some time to add all these in, but they're very much worth it. And one of the big reasons they're worth it, quite honestly, is look at how much space they take, right? And they're pushing the other guys down a little bit. It also kind of separates the ad and makes this ad look a little more appealing versus the other two here. This one has all kinds of extra information in it, which is pretty cool. I love that they also do Murphy and cabinet beds. I just noticed that. So, but this one has more information, right? And there's no additional cost for you to do the ad extensions on your Google Ads. All right, I'm going to jump over and make sure there's no questions. If you have any questions, please put those in the chat. I want to make sure that I'm paying attention to that as well. So, all right. So landing pages. There's two ways to do ads, two places really to send traffic when somebody clicks on your ad. The first one is to your website. You can dump them to your website. Now, in this case, I definitely wouldn't recommend dumping them to your homepage, but you could do that. So because we built campaigns and then we built ad groups, each ad group has a product. At the least, you should dump them to that product page on your site, right? That would make the most sense. But that's one way to do it. The other way to do landing pages is just build what we call a landing page that is not part of your website. It is a separate page. Google doesn't see it, doesn't know about it, doesn't track it, anything like that. And when they land on this page, we also used to call these squeeze pages. So they land on the page, it has information about probably the product that they clicked the ad about. And the only thing they can do there is call the number or set an appointment. It's the only two things they can do. So they can't look around on your website and go to your About Us page and all that kind of stuff. The purpose really is just to get the lead. And that's the ones I like the best. But there's different ways of doing this. So a couple things that you need to know. Conversion tracking. So we haven't really talked a lot about this, and we'll cover this in a little bit here. But when you're creating ads and you're spending money, it would be really nice to know if that money is well spent or a waste of time, right? The only way to do that is to have something in place called conversion tracking so that you can see, okay, this person came through an ad, they clicked on the set appointment and they set an appointment, right? That is a conversion. This person came through, looked around, clicked the X in the corner and went on, not a conversion. So whatever that person came from, maybe that's not the best traffic. Maybe that's the poorly written ad. Maybe that keyword is not a great one to be bidding on. There's a lot of different things that could go into that. And then we mentioned earlier, your campaign really should be broken into ad groups. That way you can track and build ads more specifically to what people are searching for. Understand the different keyword match types. We went through that already. And don't forget about the negative keywords, right? Don't spend money on window treatment jobs, window treatment installed jobs or opportunities, those kinds of things. Make sure that you're doing that. And then write compelling ads. This again, great opportunity for you to use ChatGPT. Maybe say, here's an ad that I wrote. Give me some other versions of this. Help me optimize this and make it a little bit better. Now, when it comes to ad assets and extensions, spend the time really to do this. This will really help you set yourself apart. Check out this ad here. They've got the main ad, and then they've got 4 extensions for different links on their website. I love this. This takes up a lot of real estate on Google's search page. So, these guys are probably getting a decent amount of traffic just because of the the size of their ad. And it's not costing them any more. It's just because it's well written. They're bidding a certain amount, but Google sometimes shows cheaper ads above people that are willing to pay more because they're better written. So definitely have to keep that in mind. Have a well thought out page when somebody lands on your site. As I said earlier, I'm a fan of the landing pages and not sending traffic to your website. But definitely split test. So one really cool thing inside the Google ad system is you can split test a lot of things. So basically you can say, here's 2 ads, send 50% of the traffic to each one, and then let me know who the winner is, right? Then you take the winner, plug that into ChatGPT and say, give me some other versions of this, and do another split test. So always kind of making those ads better and better as time goes on. Now I mentioned conversion tracking. Don't forget this piece, because don't spend all kinds of money on Google ads and then wonder, did my money work or not? Especially if you're advertising in a couple different places, let's say you're doing Google ads, you're in the local design magazine or newspaper, and you've got a TV commercial, right? So you're spending money on all these different things, and you're probably getting leads, but if you don't know where they're coming from, if they could all be coming from your paid ads and you're just wasting money on the TV commercials, right? You have to have that conversion tracking in place for every type of ad that you do, not just Google ads. Now, when it comes to some conversion tracking related things, one thing that we do is we have a dynamic number specifically for our clients. This phone number only shows on paid ads. It's the only place that they'll see this number anywhere online. Somebody dials that number, it just forwards to their regular line. Work goes through our lead boomerang system to track that lead, but then the clients know exactly where every single lead comes from before, you know where every lead came from through that system. So got a question here from Chuck. Is there testing available before you buy the ad? Not really. Google does give some information around potential track. So when you're picking out keywords, they do give you, here's how much traffic you should expect for what you're spending. But that's the only stuff they'll give you beforehand. They don't really know how humans are going to react to the ads that you're writing. So that's why it's so important to have the tracking in place. Good question, Chuck. Form submissions. If you have a form on your landing page, make sure that form again is tracking so that you know somebody filled out this appointment form that came because they landed on a paid ads page on your site or a landing page that you had. So you know that that's working again, right? You can build this into every AdWords campaign. There's also something called UTM parameters. Got something in my mouth there. That you can add, and this starts to get a little techy, but there are some other things that you can do. So when somebody clicks on an ad, you can actually say, this traffic came from this campaign, they used this keyword, and they were inside this ad group. You can send all that information to your landing page, and then your Google Analytics, things like that, will actually show that information where people came from. Of course, Google Ads platform also tracks all that stuff too and lets you know about it. And lastly, don't forget to audit and validate the tracking every once in a while. Just make sure it's working, right? Sometimes things get a little broken or stop working right, and you just got to kind of audit through those and make sure that they're working. Now, when it comes to leads, KPIs or key performance indicators, there's a couple things you need to follow and keep track of. Obviously, your total spend. Now, one thing about total spend, if you say, Google, I want to spend $1,000 a month on my ads, that kind of gives permission to Google to veer in either direction about 10%. So if you have 1,000, they could spend 900. They could spend 1,100. So total spend is not a hard, fast number. Make sure that you know that there's going to be a little bit of variance there. You can also find out what your average cost per click. So every time somebody clicked on an ad, what did it cost me? That number could be $3, $5, $8, whatever that number is. It it's probably different, but it needs to be tracked for sure in your system. Also, cost per lead. This is probably the biggest thing that we track for our clients is how much did it cost for every lead that we got, and that number varies wildly. For window treatments, these numbers are actually probably a little bit low right now, with the way that the economy has been pre-election, I should say. We had clients paying $200 and $300 per lead because it was quite competitive. It's definitely relaxed a little bit now, but on $85 to $180 is good for a cost per lead, with the idea that as you continue to do A/B testing and optimize you drive that number down. So even if you are $180 a lead in month one, you start doing some work, optimizing, you're driving that number down. By month three, maybe you're at 160, right? By month six, you're at 100, that kind of stuff. So it can really, you need to drive that number down as time goes on. Chuck is asking, what is this? Did I click on the right one here? What is a recommended spend for a reasonable ROI? Great question. So for our clients, we highly recommend that they start at $1,500 a month. If you start at $500 or $800 a month, what's going to happen is there's not going to be enough traffic for Google to learn who your audience is and who's going to convert. Ultimately, Google wants to send you the right traffic, right? So that you keep spending money with them. So they have to learn who that traffic is, their demographics, those sorts of things. So it depends partially on how much Google has learned, but we recommend for our clients to start at 1,500. And usually in month 3 or 4, our clients will say, you know what, this is working pretty well. Let's go ahead and add another 1,000 to it. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, you're putting $1 in and $10 is coming out, or whatever that number is. You can see that math because your conversion tracking is in place. Those types of things are working, and you can see that number, how many leads were generated. And then lastly, the most important KPI is return on investment. That's pretty obvious, right? For most everybody that's in business. When it comes to pay-per-click and SEO takes a while, right? On average, 4 to 6 months before you start to see any sort of movement on SEO. There's a lot of factors there depending on how authoritative your site is, how long it's been around, things like that. But it takes time. And eventually, at some point, your SEO will start to kick in. You'll start to rank for more and more terms. You'll start to get more and more traffic from that. In the meantime, if you need the phone to ring, you're stuck doing pay-per-click. And that is what gets things moving in the right direction quickly. So a lot of times we'll see something like this for our clients where SEO will start to click in, and then we have a conversation around your paid ads. Do you want to turn them off? Do you want to turn them down? Do you want to move that budget to something else? And 50% of the time, clients just say, no, let's keep going. This is working. Let's not change it now. And then the SEO is just going to be extra leads on top of that, right? And then we have other clients that say, yeah, let's pull that budget back and move it towards maybe another platform to do some ads on, or do some direct mail, or, there's a lot of things you can do when it comes to ads. But this is pretty typical for us, how we see things happening. Now, when it comes to why campaigns fail, let's talk about a couple of those. The first one really is to not understanding the auction process. And I'm not going to go through that today because it's a bit complex. But as I mentioned earlier, you can't say, well, gosh, Shade Store is bidding $3 every time somebody types this in. I'll just bid $3.10 and show up at the top. It doesn't work that way. If their ads, excuse me, if their ads are better written, then they're going to show up even though they're spending less. So there is a process with auction. There's something called quality score. The quality of your ads depends on where you show up. And this all, again, goes back to conversion tracking. So having that in place correctly. Weak campaign structure. We mentioned this before. I will come across clients who just added one campaign called window treatments, and they put all their ads in there, and they sent everybody to the homepage of their website, and most likely it failed. They don't build out all these different ad groups individual and write ads specifically for each of those ad groups. Poor targeting means you didn't target the right audience, right? That could be just one keyword, window treatments, right? Anybody that types anything like that in, I want my ad to show, that would be one way that people could waste their money. Obviously, location. There are times when I travel and I'll see, window treatment related ads for a specific area. But then when I get back home, I might still see those ads. I'm no longer in that location, right? So a lot of times the targeting isn't set up correctly. And I'm seeing ads when I'm in St. Louis for a company that's maybe in Florida or something. Wasted money. And then lastly, no strong call to action. So there's no obvious next step for somebody who is clicking on your ad. Maybe the ad scent isn't right, where they land on your page and your page is a little ambiguous, or you dumped them to the homepage and now they have to go find out if you really do Roman shades, right? No strong call to action or giving them an obvious next step can really mess that up. Now, on the other side, obviously not tracking your results, not having that conversion tracking in place, turning an ad on and then just leaving it, set it and forget it. That's not going to work very well for you. And failure to address the competition. So if your competitors are just doing a lot better job of writing ads and they're dialed in a lot more, then you're going to waste money on ads that maybe aren't working as great as you thought. Now, I mentioned this earlier about wrong landing page. You don't want to send all of these different searches to your homepage. Definitely don't want to do that. You want to send them to an internal page that makes more sense. Now, when it comes to that are working now, one really cool thing you can do with Google Ads is you can tie the Google Ad platform to your Google business profile. And that allows you to show ads in what we call the 3-pack. And the 3-pack is the map with the 3 pins. In this case, you'll see there's a 4th listing in the 3-pack, and American Awning and Blind Company is showing their ad. And the really cool thing about this is it's the first one. Now, when it comes to organic leads, 60 to 70% of our client leads comes from the 3-pack. It comes from that Google business profile. It doesn't come from paid ads. It doesn't come from SEO. It comes from this. So writing an ad that can show up inside of the 3-pack as a 4th listing and it's first is huge. It is a big thing that's going to help you drive traffic to your business. Now, you can't just say, show my ad in the Google Maps area every time somebody types this in. Google's a little bit more dodgy. I don't know what the right word is. It doesn't happen all the time. There's no direct way to do this. They pick and choose when to do it. So even us trying to find this screenshot took a little time. But if you can get in there and start to show up, you're probably going to get more leads. The other really cool thing here is if you're working on your Google business profile and you're showing up in one of the 3-pack results and then you're running an ad, you could actually be 2 of the 4 listings that show up here. So optimizing your Google business profile is a big, big piece of all this as well. Now, I've done training on that, again, on wtmarketingpros.com/training. There's a session out there specifically on optimizing your Google business profile. Highly recommend you check that out because, again, that's going to be a big chunk of potential leads for you. So definitely pay attention to that. Also, what's working now is something called local search ads. Now, local search ads, or what we call LSAs, are not available for the window treatment industry yet. However, they're probably coming pretty soon. And once they do, there's going to be a banner across the top with a list of trusted window treatment companies near you or trusted awning companies. That's going to be great. So keep this kind of in the back of your mind. LSAs or local search ads, they're coming for our industry. They aren't out yet. If you want an example of these, type in, plumber near me, roofing near me, and you'll probably see some of those types of ads on those searches. But that's coming down the line. Now, there are other platforms that you can run paid ads on. For the most part, we focus specifically on Google Ads because that's where most of people go to find information, find services, products, things like that, right? But there is Facebook. Facebook is really great on the retargeting side for somebody who has already been to your website and then they see your ad, right? We don't tend to recommend Facebook ads for a cold audience or an audience that has not been exposed to your brand at all. And then you just show up on their Facebook feed. A lot of times that's not going to turn into a conversion. Typically not the best use of finances. There is advertising on house. We've had a couple clients do it. They tend not to renew. So they'll run it for a season and pick out their zip codes. And in most cases, they realize that didn't work. So House is another platform. Pinterest is really cool for very visual related ads, a little more generic, but it's a place to go. I should back up to Facebook. Don't forget about Instagram. So Instagram is owned by Facebook. You can run ads on Instagram, probably have a little bit better results on the cold side with Instagram because people are expecting to see pictures of things. Same with Pinterest. So that's possible. Yelp ads, we have clients typically on the West Coast that use Yelp. And for some reason in the US, the West Coast tends to like Yelp and nobody else does. So it just depends on where you're at in the country. And I'm not saying they won't work in New York or even in Missouri. But for the most part, it seems like that is a West Coast thing. Nextdoor. So we rolled out Nextdoor ads for clients about 4 months ago now, and they are having fantastic results. A lot of clients are adding more budget to Nextdoor. So Nextdoor came out about 6 months ago with a new ad platform. So if you maybe ran ads on it previously and didn't have that great of luck, you might want to look at Nextdoor again because it is really built up really nicely. And showing those ads on Nextdoor is pretty cool. It's very, very uber local, right? I did mention Facebook remarketing. So the basic way that remarketing works is somebody saw your ad, right? Or they landed on your website, or somehow they got engaged with your business. And then as part of that, you pixeled them or you set some code on their website, or sorry, on their computer. And then when they go to Facebook, suddenly they start seeing your ads. This works very well. It's very, very cheap to do. And it works great. So very much a fan of remarketing or retargeting type of ads. And you can do these on different platforms. I mentioned YouTube earlier. You can do remarketing campaigns on YouTube. So somebody was exposed to your brand, then they go to YouTube to watch a video and your commercial comes up. Definitely a good way to go about doing things as well. Now, the last thing that I wanted to mention here was email boomerang. This is a service that we offer, and basically what it does is somebody comes to your website and maybe they don't engage. They don't fill out a form. They don't set an appointment. They just hit the X right after they looked around a little bit. Our email boomerang system actually reverse engineers who that person was, figures out their email address, and sends them an email. Hey, thanks for visiting our website. Here's a little bit about our company. Let us know if we can help or set an appointment. Typically, it's just one email. It's not a spammy thing, anything like that. Is it creepy? Maybe it's a little bit creepy, but I think people are understanding now that this kind of stuff is available. But email boomerang is a great way to get in front of some of that paid ad traffic that you've paid for, but they didn't seem to engage at that particular time. Maybe they were just kind of researching things. So grabbing that email address and just saying, hey, we're here, let us know if we can help you, tends to work pretty well. All right. So as an overview, I'm not going to you, but you really need to break your campaign up into smaller pieces, have that conversion tracking in place. Don't forget about the ad extensions. Those can really start to set you apart a little bit. And then lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit about hiring a pay-per-click person to help you out. There are a lot of companies out there that just do paid ads and help companies with their paid ad platforms. We do not offer paid ads as a standalone service. It's only part of our overall marketing program. But if you were looking for a pay-per-click person, I wanted to make sure to put some information out there around what you should look for, right? I mean, you've got a lot of information from this to ask questions like, do you do conversion tracking? Do you send people to a landing page? Some of these things we've already kind of gone through, which can really help you out. But here's some other things. Will you delineate pay-per-click calls versus organic calls? So will we know when a lead comes in through the phone, will you know where it came from in the system? How much budget are you going to spend versus what are you as a management fee? Those are good questions. How will the landing pages be optimized? Will you be doing A/B testing on the different pages? That's called split test ads. So make sure you're doing that. What are the targets in terms of cost per lead and ROI? Cost per lead really is the big one here. How much does it cost you to acquire a lead? So that is some things that I wanted to make sure to cover. So let me jump back over, see if there's any questions. And then I've got some free stuff I want to make sure to get you guys as well. So if you have a question, put it into the chat and I'll make sure to grab that real quick. I want to make sure I've answered everybody as we go. All right. I don't see any questions right now. If you're typing one in, go ahead and type it. I'll see it come across. Let's talk about some free stuff. So the first thing is my book, Triple Your Window Treatment and Awning Leads. If you don't have a copy of this, let me get one in the mail to you. WTMarketingPros.com/book. Now I've actually published a new book. This one is about 2 years old. I've actually got a new one called 10 Quick Wins. I'll put both of these in the mail to you, absolutely free. So go to that QR code or go to the website, fill out the form, and I'll get this in the mail to you this week. And would love to have this in your hands. Now, keywords. One of the things that you've got to get started with is coming up with the keywords that if people type these things in, will they find us, right? So we've actually put together a list of the top 80, I think it's 81 keywords for the industry. And you can grab that absolutely free. There's no email opt-in, nothing like that. Just go grab it and download that list so you have it. There's the QR code. Of course, you could go to WTMarketingPros.com/keywords to grab that as well. And then lastly, if you want to talk about what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish in the coming year, and you want to kind of get a strategy together, get an SEO review, let's jump on and talk. I'd love to have a conversation with you and just learn kind of what your goals are. And maybe there's a fit with us, maybe not. But at least I can get you some resources and get you moving in the right direction. That's WTMarketingPros.com/strategy. Would love to have an opportunity to speak with you, learn a little bit more about you, do a little bit of dive into your website, those kinds of things as well. So that's it. Thank you so much for jumping on today. I appreciate you spending some time with me. Hope you have a great day, great week, and reach out to us. Would love to chat with you sometime and see what else we can do for you. If there's a way to fit, if there's a way for us to fit with what you're trying to accomplish, would love to do that. Take care, everybody.